that hidden in just 4 verses of the Bible is one of the most mysterious, debated, and unsettling stories ever written. A story so strange. What if I told you that for centuries, scholars, theologians, and believers have argued over its meaning? The Bible calls them the sons of God. It calls their offspring Nephilim, but it never clearly tells us who they were. Tonight, we're stepping into Genesis 6. A moment in Scripture so controversial, many churches quietly skip over it. When human beings began to increase in number on the earth and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that the daughters of humans were beautiful, and they married any of them they chose. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God went to the daughters of humans and had children by them. Then comes a chilling line. The Lord regretted that he had made human beings on the earth. Shortly after this passage, and God announces the flood. So the question is unavoidable. What happened here? The Bible gives us 3 undeniable facts. The sons of God are distinct from ordinary humans. Their unions produced Nephilim, described as mighty men of old, men of renown. This event is placed directly before God's decision to cleanse the earth. Whatever this was, it mattered deeply. One ancient interpretation says the sons of God were fallen angels. Supporters point to Job 1-6, where angels are called sons of God. Jude and 2 Peter, which speak of angels who sinned and were imprisoned. In this view, Genesis 6 describes a boundary violation, a corruption of God's created order. The Nephilim, then, were not just giants, but a symbol of chaos. Another view says the sons of God were powerful kings or rulers. In ancient cultures, kings often called themselves divine. They took women by force, built bloodlines, and became legendary warriors. In this reading, Genesis 6 condemns abuse of power, moral corruption, human pride reaching dangerous levels. A more theological interpretation says, sons of God, descendants of Seth, godly line, daughters of men, descendants of Cain, rebellious line. The warning here is spiritual compromise, faith mixing with corruption, until righteousness disappears from the earth. Here's the key detail many miss. Genesis 6 doesn't say God destroyed the earth because of giants. It says, the wickedness of man was great in the earth. The Nephilim, whatever they were, represent a world that had crossed a line. God's judgment wasn't random, it was grief-filled. And this is where the mystery deepens. The Bible never describes the Nephilim's appearance, explains their full nature, settles the debate. Instead, Scripture leaves us with silence, not to confuse us, but to make us reflect. Genesis 6 is not about fear. It's about boundaries, obedience, and humility. It reminds us that God sees corruption long before judgment comes. Human pride always leads to collapse. God's mercy always makes a way through Noah. The Bible doesn't answer every question, but it asks the ones that matter most. If you want to explore the mysteries Scripture leaves behind, not to attack faith, but to understand it more deeply, then subscribe to this channel, because the next mystery might change the way you've read the Bible, your entire life. And the deeper we look, the more God reveals.